They have to put food on their tables. That they keep the people in a sense of, you can say, like an economic slavery.
Mm-hmm.
To know that even today we have I call it a modern day slavery.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because there's not any way you can go on this planet
Right.
that there isn't a monetary system
Mm.
and survive. So basically, if you don't have money, I've seen homeless people in the streets in Manhattan. I seen a guy one day I was driving, he was laying down on the sidewalk and people were just walking right by him. What's the difference between that person and the person walking? They're the same human beings.
Some of them are veterans.
Yes, some of them are veterans fighting these unjust wars. We'll do a video talking about the wars, and stuff like that. But to know the difference between that person on the floor, homeless, laying down there, and the person walking, they're human beings also.
Sure.
But one has money, the other doesn't.
Mm.
This monetary system is it has to change. The system, our leaders are not going to change the system for us, what's best for us, the people. They're going to do it for what's best for the elites, what gives them more money. Because the middle class is diminished.
Mm.
There's hardly a middle class anymore. It's either
Mm-hmm.
you're rich or you're poor. It's basically coming to that.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to change. I mean, look, like I mentioned before with education, you have to pay to go to college.
Yeah. Why should you have to pay?
Why should you have to
when
pay?
it's going to benefit the nation?
It's benefiting the banks.
Sure.
Because you need to get a loan to go. The colleges, of course, they're going to want their money, but the banks are in cahoots with that because they pay off the college's money for as many loans as they give. I mean, I've heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
The more loans that they give out, student loans, the more money that they make, and they share some of the profits with the schools, along with the money that they're already making through the loans.
Mm-hmm.
It's going hand in hand. So it's a real purpose of good in college. You have to pay to get your education because it's going to deter others from not getting educated, and you're going to have most of the people in society who are uneducated.
Mm-hmm.
Even the regular school systems in like high school and middle school and elementary school. You have schools in urban areas that you have. I mean, I have a friend of mine who has a master's degree and is licensed in teaching. And he's spent maybe 4 or 5 years trying to find a full-time position.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not the only one. There's a lot of teachers out there. I know in
Sure.
the New York City school system, they've laid off a lot of teachers, and a lot of the teachers who are coming, they're coming from as far outside of New York City, which isn't as fair as to the people who live in New York City trying to find jobs.
Mm-hmm.
That they have to go other places to work, and some of them who live in nice, decent areas go to urban areas to teach. A part of them, they don't want to teach in the school. They don't like where they're at, but it's a job. That's how they see it. It's a job. I'll just teach. So as a result, now going into that teaching position, their hearts are not really into it. They're just looking for the paycheck. Sure, they'll do their job. They'll have a curriculum. But there might not be a sense of love that's there, that they say, I'm really happy to be here in this school. And the kids, I mean, you have broken windows, old textbooks. They don't have the proper tools. The environment is just bad. And that's because of the monetary system. You have a class system where you have blacks living in certain areas, Hispanics living in certain areas, Indians, other Asians, Caucasians. You have Native Americans living on the reservations. I mean, you can see, I've gone to several neighborhoods, nice neighborhoods, even, for example, I don't know if many viewers will know Garden City and Hempstead. I've seen the border that divides both of them, and it's almost like being in hell and then being in heaven, like seeing the difference. Not to say anything bad about people who live in Hempstead, it's just that, property is worth more there, and it's terrible.
Sure.
It's just terrible.
Getting worse.
And it's getting worse. People are losing their homes, foreclosures.
Yep.
People are being taken out their houses. And then what they do is they lower the interest rate so people can buy the houses, the Federal Reserve, and then they jack up the interest rate several years later. Then it causes companies to have to let workers go, causes the person who's the homeowner to say, I can't keep up with my payments anymore. Then they foreclose. Just keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on. Politicians, our leaders don't do anything about this.
Well, they have it made.
I spoke yesterday, I was out, and there was a kid who was campaigning for a politician, for a New York senator. I don't remember his name, Tom Cervelli or something.
I don't know.
I don't even remember his name. And he approached me, wanting to talk to me, asking me if I would sign up on his paper for this candidate. Not knowing anything about this candidate, just asking me to sign up. But I guess he came to the wrong person, because I had some things to say to him, and he didn't want to talk to me anymore. I had asked him, this person that you're working for, you're representing this politician. And I said, let's make sure we're on the same foundation here. Does this man, has he promised to do what's best for the people? If he's going to take an oath to go into office, to do what's best for the people? He said yes. Like, okay. And that's the way I knew I had him. I asked him, does this politician have a plan to tell the other leaders, put into legislation, something to change our monetary system? Or, scrap the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, scrap them, right.
Yeah, to change our central bank. He said no. And then he started making excuses for him. Saying, well, he's only this politician, he can't do that's higher. And I said, it doesn't matter if you're running for office, doesn't matter what office you're running for. Yes, there's limitations to what you can do, but if you're going into office, you're doing what's in the best interest of your community, city, state, and even nation, because you're supposed to be an American citizen. You're going into office, taking an oath to do what's best for the people. Doesn't matter what branch of government you're going into. Now, how can you go into that, take that oath, knowing that what the problem that we're all suffering is from is because of money? Knowing if you follow the trail of money, they say follow the money, and see where the money trail is going, it's terrible. That means we know if anyone has any sense of mind and can think or reason, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out our monetary system it's fucked up. Excuse my language, but it gets me upset.
Yeah, I know.
Because this has been going on for so long, and our national debt is going so high, and on top of that, we're sending out money to other countries, to other nations.
Yeah,
Billions of dollars we're sending out to Egypt and Turkey, and the most money we send is to Israel.
Yeah.
We give them foreign aid, billions of dollars foreign aid, and that's coming out of taxpayers' money.
And our infrastructure is crumbling.
Oh boy, we got homeless people on the street. Our school systems are bad. Like I said, our infrastructure. We drive on the roads there. You see how bad the roads are? How much traffic jams? It's
Need new leadership. New leadership.
How can us as a nation send foreign aid to other nations? Money now, not just assistance or help or food, but people here at home need help.
They always say take care of home first. Take care of home first.
And America, once upon a time, had neutrality where they didn't intervene with other foreign affairs. They just stayed within home. Problems within home. But once the federal government expanded, that all changed.
Other nations laugh at us because we are hypocrites.
Yeah.
We're hypocrites, and they know it. Seem like the people here don't know it. But they know we're hypocrites.
It's really something has to be done. It's not easy by any means. Making this change is not easy, but it's going to happen. It's inevitable. Because the monetary system we have is going to crash. Remember, it's every second, $40,000 is being spent. Our government spends per second. So as we even shot this video, they probably have spent maybe a couple million by now. It's only going to get worse, and the dollar is going to crash. It's inevitable. And when it crashes, there's going to be panic on the street. That's why they don't tell you this on the news. Because they're afraid if they do that, everyone's going to start pulling out money on the stock market. They're going to take their stocks out, take their money out, and then the stocks will crash. Instead of talking about, we have to do something about this Federal Reserve. They've been committing a crime against the American people for about a century now. We have to do something about them. We have to get rid of them.
Yeah, I wonder if they're setting up a foundation where the money that's going to crash, they have a new system going to move right in. I doubt they're doing that.
They have
to
a
set
plan.
up a foundation in case something happens like that. We'll be solid.
I don't think so.
I doubt it too.
Not with our leadership. They're not.
doubt it.
They're not in for our best interest. They have plans for another monetary system. They planned that for a long time. But if they want a global control of the monetary system, they want to keep it the same way it is, the same structure of how it's made, the money, who makes it, private interest. But they want more control. Instead of having it in different sectors and different currency, they'll all have it in one that have global control. I don't think they can. I don't know. The people, a lot of people are asleep. They could get away with something like that. They have ways of implementing it without even seeing. It's really something.
Yep. Sad.
And people don't even realize that. I've talked to a lot of people. They don't even know that our money is made by private corporation, a private bank. We don't make our own money. It's not made by Congress. It's made by a private bank.
Yep.
And they've come out saying that we're not a part of the United States government. We're a private institution. We're their bank. People don't know this. I never learned this in school.
Oh.
Half of the stuff I never learned in school. Why isn't this being...
Schools are set up to keep people,
it's frustrating.
The students dumbed down. I have a video from a person who was in the high up echelons of the school educational system, up in the government. And she put out a DVD, The Dumbing Down of America.
Listen, whatever me and Bernard have talked about, guys, and we thank you for your patience and staying, watching our videos. Whatever we've said, our personal feelings, what needs to be done, things that we've read from other people's opinions, Spencer Lewis, Marcus Hofstadt. These are different ideas we're putting out there for the viewers, you guys, to watch. If you guys have a better idea than me or Bernard or Spencer Lewis or Marcus Hofstadt, let us know. We want to know. We're not saying that we have the ultimate solution. This is just our opinion, our idea of what needs to be changed. I'm pretty sure if enough people get their minds together and we just talk about these things, what's best for the people, a monetary system that won't go corrupt and everybody could have the necessities of life, I'm pretty sure that a system could work out. If it's better than our ideas, fine. We're all for it. We're all for it. Well, one thing I'll tell you for sure is the system we have right now is not working. It's not for the people. Where you have 3% or 1% of the top that has more money than 97 or 98% combined. That's ridiculous. To have that type of imbalance. I can imagine what our extraterrestrial brothers and sisters up above must be thinking about us. Saying, these poor children, how much they're going to have to go through to change all of this. Because an extraterrestrial civilization, they're way past all of this. If they can go through space and travel through
galaxies
different systems,
and
galaxies, and probably bend space, they're probably way beyond these minor, trivial things that we're going through right now. They wouldn't need a monetary system. I couldn't they probably couldn't even fathom a monetary system.
Like that, like us, huh?
Yeah. I saw an interview with a man named Alex Collier who had he had communication with an extraterrestrial, on a regular basis, kind of like George Adamski a little bit. And they couldn't understand. He had to explain to them, I guess telepathically, the concept of money. They just couldn't understand it. I guess because they were so advanced, so evolved. They couldn't understand such a thing. And their question to him, Alex Collier, which you could probably Google or YouTube, was, why do you have to pay into a world that you're born into? They just couldn't understand it.
Pay to come in and pay to go out.
Yeah. Childbirth.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Childbirth, I heard, is about $25,000 to bring a child into this world. Childbirth. And of course, with funerals, you guys know that. How expensive it is for a funeral, for the plot.
A stone.
The stone. The casket. And if you want to go cremation, man, have they done a job on the people.
They have done a job. Sure. Yep. I look at these areas of land with all these tombstones, mausoleums, and things like that. People think have been taught. Oh, we're going to come back at the judgment day. We're going to come out of the ground. The bodies are going to be restored and all that. And they're going to be judged as to whether they're going to go to heaven or hell. It's all a lot of BS. It's money making. Children need parks and playgrounds and things like that. They got all these tombstones for the dead. Gee.
For children, with our monetary system that we have, I mean, I know this is a long episode, but this is a very important episode. I feel this is a very important, because the other episodes we've done talking about the money, it's leading up to this, the change, what needs to be done. And we want to get as much as we can get out of this episode. And I mean, if there are things that we need to bring up in later, we'll do another episode. Children who grow up with the monetary system the way it is, and children growing up, some of them don't have time. They don't get the time that's needed to spend, with their parents, having to work. Say, back in the 50s, it was the husband worked, the wife would stay-at-home mom, raise the children, they would have that love. That's out of the question today. You need dual income, especially living in New York. You need dual income. Everything is so expensive. A house is so expensive. You have to pay house insurance. If you own a car, to get a loan from the bank, you're paying interest on the loan. To buy the car insurance. What else you gotta pay? Gasoline for the car, maintain the car. Service fees are going up because wherever you're going to pay, they have to pay higher rent now because everything has been raised on them. So they have to charge more money now for the house, and then you have to pay electricity. That's gone up to keep the house heated during the winter. The oil, the gas you have to pay, how expensive that's gone now. The water bill. You're going to need a phone to talk to people. Phone bill. You're going to need television. You got to buy a television. They're so expensive. You're going to need cable because children, they don't want to watch a regular local broadcast. They want to watch cable. They want to watch all these stuff. Cable. What else am I forgetting? It's just so much. I mean, to have, dual income, just barely. There's a lot of people having... Oh, clothes. How can I forget that? You have to buy clothes. Put food on the table to eat. Furniture. Keep the house maintained over the years. Everything is money. There's not a period where you're not spending. You just have to keep spending. And children who don't have the time to spend with their family because the parents are working so many hours, and they just put in an after-school program, and some of them don't even have after-school programs. Some of them come home and they take care of themselves. The mom will say, "Oh, I left something here for you. Just warm it up. Watch TV till I get home." Some of them can't afford babysitters. So they'll leave the child at home, and then something happens, and then they get blamed. Oh, you left the child at home. But the children who grow up like that, children need love. Growing up, they need to be loved. They need to be taken care of, and they need to learn from the parents. Good morals and how to behave in the world as they get older and become an adult to get into society. Working so many hours, they're not getting those things, those fundamentals that they need. Some of them are not even eating properly. They're not getting...
And they're not watching good things. It helps to elevate the thinking, the mind. Everything out put out is junk, 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 killing.
Violence.
Music, even the noise that they call music is nothing but noise. There are people out there who know what the effects of sound does to human beings, and they're using it negatively by putting out all these what you call discordant sounds for the people and the young children to listen to. They put out the junk. Why do you think people, all these killings and shooting, whatever goes in here is eventually going to come out.
Yep,
And that's all they're getting is nothing but junk, junk, and it's being purposely done.
The video games?
Yes, it's being purposely done. So they won't have thinkers. People be like this primitive, staying on a primitive way of thinking.
And I know music has, radical changes throughout time with rock and roll coming in, and
but they can still have good sound.
They can still have good sound. Exactly, I agree. Now the music we have now is all language, it's demeaning, it's all sex.
Yeah.
It's more sex now in the music than it ever was.
And what people don't know, discordant sounds. Discordant sounds affect the human body in a negative way through what they call the sympathetic nervous system. I used to give a lecture on it. Universal revelations from the triangles of the Great Pyramid. I included music and show how sounds can affect the human system.
We got to definitely do an episode on that.
Yeah,
one.
It can destroy. They have a technique of using sound to destroy human bodies and keep structures still standing.
We're going to wrap up the episode in a few minutes. There's a couple of more things that we can touch on. I mean, with our bad leadership, our government, what needs to be done. I mean, to throw in some more things, the unjust wars that we've gone into, nations that haven't attacked us, the amount of money we spend, and all the soldiers that we send to fight in these countries, and all the civilians in that country that we've killed, and all our allies that have gone blindly into these wars.
Sure, they train them. They train them to think like robots. They can't think for themselves.
And they'll say, God bless America.
Yeah. God is supposed to bless the whole world, not just one place. I remember when I was a soldier, they would tell you, oh, we were on God's side. God is on our side.
That means the devil is on their side?
Yeah.
I mean, they're supposed to be
they do
evil?
ways to control the soldier's mind as to think he's doing right. And make the other people like they're low, nothing. I know, because I was a soldier. I was taught these things. Everybody, the enemy you fight, they're gooks. They're not human beings. That's what we were taught.
Our viewers might not know what a gook is.
It's a derogatory term. I forget what it says I had to look it up.
Yeah, a slimy, something I looked it up. It says like a slimy or very degrading term. Meaning the person is like not a human. They're
right. They're not human like
the enemy.
us. Yeah.
To get them to hate.
Sure, get them to hate and go out and kill other soldiers. Like them soldiers that was urinating on that dead soldier. He was nothing. Mm-hmm. That's that mentality. That's what they teach in the services.
We did. There's a lot of things. I mean, for you guys watching, I mean, we can just go on and on and on.
Yeah.
Our education, basically, I'm trying to sum it up. Our education system it's poor. I mean, even if it look where it's ranked in the world, it's really ranked really far back.
And there's too much. They give the kids too much. Mm-hmm. There are certain things like history. Mm-hmm. They don't need a history, and what a person needs to learn is how to think and reason. They need to know their math. They know whatever language they speak, how to read and write. If they have an ability, enhance that ability so they can be productive in society. Let them decide what they want to learn as far as history is concerned. Don't put that in there whereby they have to have it in order to get a grading. Then their attention is brought to this, which is most important, is divided.
And even if there's a history or any type of teaching, this should be in the class where if the teachers are teaching something, this is what it is. Accept it. If I'm teaching something to someone, or even the video that we're giving you guys, don't just take our word for it. Whatever we're saying, look into it. Prove us wrong. Check it out.
When I was growing up, when going to school, I didn't know Egypt was in Africa.
What did they tell you?
It was Egypt, like something was separate from Africa.
Yeah.
Because there was such great culture there.
Yeah.
They didn't want you to think of that as being Africa. so many other things. I mean, it's just mind-boggling what they're doing to the youth and to the grown-ups too.
Oh, this is what I was wanting to say. I was forgetting. We have a new type of slavery that we're going through currently in present time. I think this is probably one of the worst slavery, maybe in could be in humankind. I mean, I know the other forms of slavery have been bad, but this one is bad. This is a real bad one because people are slaves and they don't even know it.
Mm.
You're slaves to the money. That piece of paper, the money, because without that piece of paper, you're nothing. You can't get food. They want people. You can't eat. You won't have a roof under your head. You want to try. You can't travel unless you walk.
Mm.
I mean, you're nothing. If you don't have money, you're nothing. That's why you have to get a job. You have to work. You have to do these things to stay in line. Without that money, you're nothing. Slavery.
That's what you teach
You're
in
confined
school.
to that.
You teach you in school so you can get a job.
That's right.
Not be a thinker.
Yeah.
Create.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Not to question. They just want you to just want you to be like a robot.
What was that saying by the president? Right or wrong? You know.
I really hope you guys look into things and really think about it.
Our nation, right or wrong? Yeah. Like,
I know this is a long video. Probably our longest video we probably put out. Feels that way. But it's very important. Even with our study into UFOs, and it's led us into these fields because we want to know why these things have been suppressed. It's because of money. The monetary system. If they knew, if the people knew the existence of extraterrestrials and our government has been holding it back and suppressing this technology, there'll be an uproar. Because the government's not really, I think, is worried as far as people thinking there's alien life, like the existence. People want to know, I think Jim Mars had mentioned this as well. They want to know the technology behind it, how it can benefit us. And this technology, we've had it. They've come down and helped us many times throughout history, thousands, hundreds, thousands of years ago. And we have free energy technology, Nikola Tesla, cures for cancers. These things have been suppressed because of money. Money.
mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's sad. It's so pitiful. It's sad.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we think about it, I just laugh about it sometimes and wow. Like they've done such a job on the people. The people don't even know what's what.
They don't know whether they're coming or going. As they say.
And some of our viewers or some people I've talked to, they'll tell me, oh well, like they'll look at me like I'm crazy. Like, oh, he's crazy. This guy's crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know anything. You call me whatever you want to call me. If you want to call me crazy, call me crazy. But is there any truth to what I'm saying? Or what Bernard's saying? Or what I've read? Or the opinions coming from, Spencer Lewis, Marcus Hofstadt, all these other people who studied UFOs? Prove them wrong. Look at it. Just don't blindly say, no, I don't believe in that.
I don't believe in that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
I've talked to people, they'll say, oh, a monetary system. There's nothing wrong with a monetary system. Oh, that's not the problem. I don't know. There's so much fear. There's fear in it. People will never... It's all they've ever known. And like I read, it's all they ever known. It's so hard for them to let go of that.
They don't have to let go. Just set it aside for a while and examine something else. If you don't accept it, after examining it, then go back to what you had. But at least examine something else. How are you going to differentiate and tell which is right? Unless you have the opposite.
We really have to get together as a people and get something going. I mean, our news networks have let us down. Our leaders have definitely let us down. Our central banks, I mean, their intent was to let us down, to deceive us from day one. There has to be change. If the news networks aren't putting out the right news, the right information that needs to go out, they're no good to us. We have to go, and I'm saying that we have to. A revolution is inevitable. The people have to get together, get together, get the information out, like I said, in step 1. Step 2, everyone has to be in it together to know what it is that they want.
A revolution through evolution.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be violent.
No.
People always think revolution violent just because it's happened before. And another thing, too, with revolutions, other nations that are doing dirt to their citizens, when they see revolutions in other countries, they will try to downplay it as much as they can and say, look at the violence going on in these other countries, in Egypt and all these countries. And yeah, maybe there is violence going on. Maybe they don't know how to handle it. But it doesn't mean that we have to handle it in a violent way.
Yep.
All we have to do, like Gandhi did, march, or Martin Luther King, get the people together.
Yep.
Stand united.
Masses of people.
Because this is the United States of America. Are we united? We have a class system. We have an unbalanced monetary system. We're starting unjust wars. We have more military bases than around the world than any other country. We're spraying chemicals, these chemtrails over us people, aluminum and barium. The news networks don't say anything about it. Our government doesn't put a stop to it. These things are going on. They don't care about us. I mean,
Sure seems
I've
that
heard
way.
about the Bilderbergs, the committee of 300 or whatever they call them, 300 or 200, like groups that are organized to have control over the planet, and their number one goal is to reduce the population. The population is too high for them. They feel that it's in their best interest, in our best interest, for them to control us. And there's too many of us for them to control, so the less there is of us, it's easier for them to manage and control us. Who the hell are they to determine the fate of others?
They can't build no special road where they can travel.
Yeah.
Aside from everybody else, they have to fight the traffic too.
Oh yeah, these are
They don't wanna fight the
elite.
traffic.
These guys like Warren Buffett, these rich elitists, the Rothschilds and these very Rockefellers. They have their Maybach, their big Rolls Royce or their Bentley, and they want to drive. They don't want to be stuck in traffic. When they look out, the ones that are part of these Bilderberg meetings, I know when they look out of their window and they see the traffic and they see people around them, they don't look at them as people. They just look at them as peasants. These peasants are delaying me.
Workers, just workers. Work for us. That's all.
They're in my way. So I don't mind eliminating them through chemtrails or putting sodium fluoride in the water, or these vaccines that have all these chemicals. And we don't mind being together with the other elitists to do this, to reduce the population, because it's going to benefit us, the elite. That's how they think. Sometimes you have to put yourself in their mindset, to think how devious and how far they would be willing to go.
They do it through wars.
Yeah, they do it through wars.
They do it through wars, so they don't mind killing people, getting people killed. They don't have to fight.
Even our neighbor with 9/11, what happened in 9/11.
Yep.